This is kind of a review of stuff that you've seen already. Now, graphs, though, are made up of horizontal and vertical number lines. Horizontal, of course, left and right. Vertical, straight up and down. What we end up doing with these, see if I can do this with some technology decently, is we're gonna start combining these like this. Okay, so it's gonna make kind of a cross. Of course, there'll be more lines. It'll look like city streets, at least in some cities, like this one. Okay, so we've taken the horizontal number line and the vertical one, and we've combined the two together. Now, there's some vocabulary that you have to be familiar with so that when I refer to it, that you're not like, what the crap are you talking about, right? So first up, we have the x-axis, which is the horizontal number line right here. All right, now we have the y-axis, which is the vertical number line right here. What you'll have to remember on this is that right at the middle, see if I can do this with a decent color there, right in the middle of the x-axis right here, and it'll be right on the y-axis, that's the value 0 on the x-axis, and then the y-axis, its 0 value is right here where the x-axis meets it, okay? And then if you go to the right on the x-axis, those are positives, left is negative. For the y-axis, downwards is negative and upwards is positive. From time to time on a graph, you may see right in the middle, they'll have some students say that's a 0. It is not a 0. It is the letter O for origin. So right there at the middle, I'll put the point there, right there. That's the origin. Now the nice thing about the coordinate grid, coordinate plane, I guess, whatever, is that it is like city streets, and each corner is its own location, right? So if I were to look at this street corner, we can identify that location through this grid with an ordered pair. Now you see down here, it says the ordered pairs. We have X value first and then the Y value second. That's always alphabetical. So the X value would be first. So I would be looking on this, I'm going to call it a street right now, but this line, and I can see that it would be on this, again, I'm going to say it's a street. It's on this street for the x-axis. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the x value here is positive 8. And then the y value, the corresponding y value, again, I just follow this street over until I get to the y-axis. And I can see that that value would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it's 8 as well. I didn't mean for that to happen, but it did. So the x value is 8, the y value is 8. We'll see some more. But again, when we see an ordered pair like this, it's crucial that you understand what it is, because we're going to see a ton in this class. So let's identify the quadrants on these. We have the x-axis, y-axis, the origin, and the ordered pairs. Quadrants, okay, because it's being split up into 4 parts by the 2 axes. And this may seem weird, but quadrant 1's in the top right. Why is it in the top right? I don't know. But I assume that there was some math nerd at some point in time that was like, watch this, quadrant 1 in the top right. And then every other math nerd was like, yeah, we got him, right? Not only that, but usually we'd look at this and think it's going to go clockwise. It's counterclockwise, which means quadrant 2 is the top left, quadrant 3 is the bottom left, and then quadrant 4 is in the bottom right. And you'll notice as well that I put those in Roman numerals. Why are they in Roman numerals? I don't know if the Romans really just like quadrants, or if there was a math nerd in Rome that was like, I'm going to watch this, I'm going to put it in the top right. I have no idea. But if you don't use, this is going to seem weird too. If you don't use Roman numerals and you show this to a math nerd, and by math nerd I'm talking about professors and teachers, they may freak out. Okay, now I've just given you a brilliant key on how to really annoy the crap out of math people. I like to as well. The reason why is because I'm not disturbed by those kinds of things, but a lot of math nerds are. So right here, we're going to find the ordered pair for each of these points. Now this goes back really to 920 type stuff, but it's a great review. All right, so I'm going to start in the top right. I don't know, it's just out there. So if I were to look at the ordered pair for this point right here, this ordered pair, I can see, I can follow this line down. And I can see the x value is 4. It's not even showing the x for the x-axis, but there should be one there. Same for the y-axis, but it doesn't have to. And then again, I want to know the y value as well, so I just follow this line over. I can see it's a y value of 3. The ordered pair is 4, 3. Now, for ordered pairs, it is crucial that you use parentheses and a comma between. Hopefully that makes sense, right? This is now the number 43, but with a comma, now it's 4, 3, all right? If you don't use parentheses, then mathematically you're using the wrong language, which in real life is okay, right? Like, I don't think you go home and talk to your friends mathematically. But in a math class, we need you to speak math language, okay? All right, so I'm going to work. Let's go to this point right here. So this one, again, we're just looking. Let's start with the x value. I go down here. It's right in the middle. That's the origin. But the x value itself is 0. And the y value is right on the y value. It's telling us the y value is 2. I guess I'm going counterclockwise. It doesn't matter. So for this green point, once again, I follow down. I see the x value is -2, and the y value corresponds with a 2 value. That comma didn't work very well. It's okay. And then this point right here, it's right on the x value of -3, which means the y value is 0. When we can follow this line over to see on the y-axis, that is a 0 value. And then this last one here, same idea. I want the x value first, and I can see that's -1, and following over to the y value of -4. All right, now, so the last slide there, we were actually identifying the ordered pairs of points that they gave us. Now they're giving us ordered pairs. Again, that's a location on the graph represented by these values. I don't know why there's so many, but there is. Let's go to -4, 6, right? So again, it's always going to be x value and then the y value. So let's find -4, 6. I'll do in blue. So on the y-axis, starting from the x-axis, starting at 0, I'd go to the left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I would have to go up 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom. There it is. I will label it -4, 6. And I'll also get rid of the line because then it looks pretty. But I'm starting from the origin on these. Some of you guys are like, Sal, that's kind of a waste of time for me. Then okay. I'm going back to the basics on this stuff. And then we got 0, -3. So that's an x value 0. That's down 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. There it is. 0, -3. Now you'll notice this point that we just put on there is a point that's directly on the y-axis. That is what we call a y-intercept, which we'll identify because it's saying determine which quadrant and stuff. But let's put these on the graph first. So -1, -4. So again, that's left 1 and then down 4. That's this point. It's pretty close. -1, -4. And then 1, -6. Oh, crap. 1, -6. Sorry, it's getting really cluttered there. Not on purpose, though. And then 7, 0, that's an x value of 7, and then a y value 0. That's going to be right on the x-axis, which, when it asks, I guess I spilled the beans on the one that's on the x-axis. My bad. Let's see, the next one, 0, 0, that's right at the origin. The origin is always at 0, 0. And then 9, 8, I guess I'm doing red. So 9 x value, that's 9 to the right, then 8 up, boom. I think I got that. It's kind of small on my iPad. I think I got them all on the graph, but now we need to identify the location of each. So now we're ready to identify the locations of these. So -4, 6, that's the blue point in the top left. That would be quadrant 2. I'm going to put a Q with that. The math nerd in me really wants to write the word quadrant, but I'm not going to. I'm going to resist it. 0, -3, we can see that one. It's the red point there, and it's directly on the y-axis. We addressed that as well. So that's directly on the y-axis. You'll have to do this on the assignment, by the way. -1, -4, it's really close to the y-axis. It's just not directly on it, which means it is in a quadrant. And that would be quadrant 3, so Q3. You're welcome to write the word quadrant, by the way, but I'm not going to. 1, -6. This is green point, which got a little cluttered there. That would be quadrant 4. I think we get one in each of the quadrants, right? And then 7, 0, that's the orange point there. That's directly on the x-axis. And then 0, 0 is always the origin. And it would be good to get used to seeing that if you see 0, 0, you just know it's the origin, which is why I didn't point it out on the graph. But you can see on the graph it's right where the two axes meet. And then finally 9, 8 is the only point I can see in quadrant 1. Okay, so just a quick review here. Quadrant 1, maybe I should have done this before we did it, but quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4.